We move on to our next spot on this card, and it is the Green Bay Packers at Cincinnati Bengals. I find this game extremely interesting. Birdie says cash on the over, and the line is climbing, acting accordingly. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. There is in that morning game, there is no. Sorry, you're wrong. Exactly. Why was sorry, Birdie? It's 48% of the tickets are on the under, and 60% of cash is on the under. And that's why I'm not at this point. Hopefully, can stay disciplined and not move on it. Benjamin says, "Is this science, Jimmy?" Okay, Benjamin, let's go. Green Bay Packers 3-1, 1-1 on the road at Cincinnati Bengals 3-1, 2-0 home. We're at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. Packers come in off their third straight win, a comfortable 27-17 victory at Lambeau over the Steelers. Let's take a look at the market move in this spot. We have this total opening up at 49.5. It's moved to 50.5. 49.5 to 50.5. And then we have Green Bay opening as 3-point favorites. And there's been a 12-cent move to the Cincinnati Bengals. Green Bay opening at -3 at -117 at Pinnacle. They're now -3 at -105. Very interesting. Now let's move over to the cash in this spot and see if it all correlates. We have 7,641 tickets in, and it correlates exactly. Only 18% of the tickets are on the Bengals and 51% of the cash. So clearly there are big bets being made on the Cincinnati Bengals. Then we have 48% of tickets on the under and 83% of cash on the under, and we see a point move to the over. Dennis Garcia says, I took the Bengals plus 3.5 -115 in the over. I don't trust Green Bay. Monday Night Football, San Francisco on Sunday Night Football, the Steelers, Cincinnati too young and unknown for them to care. Interesting. Dennis says Cincinnati's had extra time to prepare. Rodgers comes to their building. I expect them to show up. Brady says the Bengals got hammered at 3.5. Aaron Rodgers was 20 for 36 for 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Randall Cobb was the guy, caught 5 passes for 69 yards, 2 touchdowns. Through the first 3 games of the year, Cobb had 4 catches for 58 yards. He caught 5 passes for 69 yards. Impressive. Devontae Adams, 6 catches for 64 yards. Anything to get pressure off of Devontae Adams will help this team. A.J. Dillon. Boston College's own A.J. Dillon, 15 carries for 81 yards. Aaron Jones had 15 carries for 48 yards. Packers defense got 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits on Big Ben. Eric Stokes, 8 tackles, 2 passes deflected, and 1 interception. Jair Alexander left in the third quarter with a shoulder injury. They say that he may be able to avoid a long-term absence if he is able to take the field while wearing a brace. Not a good sign for Alexander. Linebacker Preston Smith dealing with a shoulder injury, questionable this week. The Packers have been handling injury problems very well. On Sunday, this past week, they didn't have linebacker Chris Barnes, offensive lineman Algden Jenkins, cornerback Kevin King, and receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling. They've been missing all-pro left tackle David Bakhtiari all season, and they haven't had outside linebackers Darius Smith since the opening week. Does that make them vulnerable? Bengals are on extra rest and preparations after coming back from a down 14-0 at the half to win 24-21 at home over the Jaguars on Thursday night. Evan McPherson won it on a 35-yard field goal. It was a 10-play, 73-yard drive. It took 5.5 minutes. It was impressive. Burrow, 25 of 32 for 348 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Tyler Boyd caught 9 passes for 118 yards. The T. Higgins was not there, but it didn't seem to hurt them. C.J. Uzoma caught 5 passes for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, 6 catches for 77 yards. Joe Mixon is nursing a low-grade ankle sprain. So he ran 16 times for 67 yards and a touchdown before getting hurt, and he is considered week to week. From that and from my study today, I do not expect Joe Mixon to be in the lineup, but he could be. Logan Wilson was excellent once again. What a monster this guy is. 10 tackles, 1 sack. Stopped Trevor Lawrence on that 4th goal at the one with under a minute left in the half. That basically cost me the over. Guard Xavier Suafilo, wide receiver T. Higgins, cornerback Chidobe Awuzie, and safety Jesse Bates all missed the game. Now let's this questionable go this week. What a fascinating football game, Bebsie. Take it away, Packers-Bengals.
Well, Jimmy, I have a lean here don't think I'm going to play it, and I lean Bengals for this reason. One, they're at home. Two, they've been playing great football, and they've been surging. The injury to Mixon is certainly a concern. I don't see him playing. But I believe in Joe Burrow right now. It's not to say I don't believe in Aaron Rodgers. You'd be crazy not to. I love everybody who's like, Aaron Rodgers is done after week one. That was ludicrous. Clearly an anomaly. They didn't start the season on time. But that laundry list of injuries that you just read through, it's one thing to lose a couple of guys. It's another to lose a bunch more. And they've been getting through it. But sooner or later, this catches up with them. And I'm worried that this catches up with Green Bay this week. There is a lot of talent out for them. The Jair Alexander, I don't – if I'm Green Bay and I'm a playoff hopeful team, of course, you've been to the NFC Championship 2 years in a row. You can't play Jair Alexander while he's laboring, while he's like protecting that shoulder. I get it. The corners aren't the most physical position on the field, but those guys got to make open field tackles. If you lose Jair Alexander for an extended period of time, you're in a lot of trouble. So they gotta rest him. I would be upset if I was a fan of the Green Bay Packers and they rolled Jair Alexander onto the field this week. So this is tough. This is a tough call because both of these teams are playing good football right now. I just think the injuries for Green Bay are far worse than what the Bengals are dealing with. And the Bengals are at home, and they're playing good football right now. It's my lean. It's hard to bet against Aaron Rodgers right now, but the Bengals are playing good football, and frankly, they're healthier.
Yeah, and it certainly looks like this will – maybe I shouldn't say it'll turn into a 2.5 because – I mean, you could see that it go to 2.5 and you just take some huge bets on the Packers. The books might be fearful of the 2.5. R says maybe a shootout. Topset says Bengals and under. Birdie says this game reminds me of the Houston spot last year. I felt the -4 was a trap and bet Houston and I lost. I'm staying off this game. I can't trust this Bengals head coach, especially in uncharted waters. Says you need to be an even stronger leader to win. I just don't think this is a Bengals coach is capable, especially off that comeback last week. Jags are not. That was an emotional win. Dennis Garcia said my number came back Packers -2.5. This total, Bebsie, before we move on here, opening up at 49.5, now at 50.5. Mixon may or may not be in the lineup. T. Higgins, it looks like he wants to be back in the lineup. I'm not sure if he's going to be back in the lineup, but with this move towards the over, do you agree with this market move towards the over?
I don't think so. I think I'd probably, again, if you force me to play it, I'd probably run the under on this one.
Bengals +3 at home against the Packers. I know this is different than playing the Steelers, but it does feel like a coming-of-age win possibly for the Bengals with all the injuries that the Packers are facing. JT says they said Higgins would have played last week if it wasn't a short week. I think the Bengals are the spot. Razor says not sure how this game stays under the total. It's going to be TD after TD after TD. Shout out to Birdie for cashing the Bengals +230 at halftime down 14-0. Bengals +3.5. I'm not going to sit here and hum and haw. I'll do that all night because I have a very difficult time sleeping after these Tuesday night shows, staring at what action to deliver. And I'm not happy with my performance over the last 2 weeks. Dutch Boy Fresh, team total over 24 for the Bengals. Team total over 24. I'm going to copy and paste that just above the breakdown so that I can remember what Dutch is on as I stare at this game deciding what to bet. All right, we move on.